Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Rack and Ride Chronicles. And I'm standing here, shorts, t-shirt. It went from low 30s last week at night to 60s at night now, and 88 yesterday, 87 today. It's been a rough switch of weather, let's put it that way. But obviously we're outside, we're not in the studio today, and lots going on. If you follow along on Facebook, you saw that last weekend I blew a shot on a turkey, pulled a rookie mistake, and it is what it is. Strike one. I got a couple more weeks left of the season here in Pennsylvania, so looking forward to getting back out and hopefully getting something done. But this week we were going to start talking about some product, and we are technically going to talk about product, but unless you're following us on YouTube or Facebook, you really haven't seen the transformation of what we call the rack rig, and that's what I'm standing next to here. So you've probably seen pictures, you've seen it in the intro to the show. So today, along with my wonderful rookie outing for turkey, we're going to go over the truck a little bit, because this thing has had major transformations since last October, September-ish, October-ish. So gonna dive deeper into this so that you guys can see it, and we want to pay some homage to the folks that definitely helped out with this truck, because without them it wouldn't be in the state it is right now. So want to make sure that we share the love with those guys. So in the meantime, I got out with our good friend Ned and another friend of ours, John, who's one of the local taxidermists, and we went on some state game lands. Had some birds fired up first thing in the morning, and finally, after 4 or 5 moves, got set up with a bird that was probably, I'm gonna guess, 70 to 80 yards from us. Now, me being me, and thinking about the show, Ned was running the camera for us, doing the calling, and I'm telling you right now, when you hear Ned call, I am not a good turkey caller. I'll be the first to admit it. But Ned is phenomenal and does a really good job. So he was working the bird in, and all I was thinking about was the camera, thinking, does he have it on? Is he recording? This bird is fired up. He's coming in. So I finally caught a glimpse of the bird. I'm gonna guess at like 55, 60 yards, and I pulled the dumbest, most biggest rookie mistake there is, and I turned around to look at Ned to make sure that he had the camera running, because we were quite a distance away, so it wasn't like he can whisper to me, and the bird caught me. But check it out. I do take a shot at the very end, so just wait it out. You'll see this bird was fired up, and I blew it. So bad on my part. So enjoy this one, guys. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back, and as you can tell, I blew that hunt for sure. So that's why they call it hunting and not call it killing, right? So back to what we talked about when we started the show was we were going to talk a little bit about the rack rig. So again, since last September-ish, October-ish, we've been very fortunate to work with a ton of great companies to help make this truck the rack rig. You know, the one big thing that we looked at, as far as, you know, we're always outside doing something, whether it's hunting, fishing, camping, kayaking, whitewater rafting, whatever the case is. You know, the vehicle that you drive makes things much easier if it's set up correctly. So we're going to start down here at the base, but we'll go into a little bit more detail. So originally this truck started off as a stock 2016 Ford F-250 crew cab diesel. The only non-stock piece that was on this truck was a set of wheels and tires. The stock truck comes with 18s, and this truck had 20s on it when we purchased it. So, you know, chrome here in Pennsylvania, anywhere in the Northeast really, when you have winters like we have and the amount of salt they put on roads, chrome begins to pit and rust and chip and so on and so forth. So that was one of the big things we wanted to get rid of. But, you know, right now I'm parked in up on one of the hills here at the property, and you know, dirt roads. We drive a lot of farm roads, driving through fields all the time. So we wanted something that was a little tougher, a little bit better looking, something that was going to withhold the winters, with a good beefy tire on it. So BMF wheels. If you remember last Christmas, we actually gave a set of these babies away. But these are the BMF Hustle R wheel in 20-inch, 8 lugs for the Ford. And we have them wrapped in BFG all-terrain TAKO2s, which is a super beefy tire. All-terrain, I've never had an issue, whether it's snow, mud, nothing. And most people, you know, when you look at the weight of the truck, if you get into some sloppy stuff, it really wants to sink. Behind these, so this was a stock suspension. Obviously, to go in a 35-inch tire on a 20-inch wheel, we needed to get the fenders and the fender wells out of the way. So we worked with Rough Country. We have a Rough Country 4-inch suspension lift. So there was no extra add-ons. This was 100% just put it up. It basically levels the truck, because most trucks have front rake. So it's the Rough Country suspension, front and rear. Basically had a couple pieces that we had to take off and replace with new Rough Country parts, but other than that, it's pretty basic, pretty simple. Comes with your shocks, your springs, your leaf blocks. The only thing that we don't have on here yet, and this is why in most of the posts you've seen that we've put up, we say it's 99% complete, because we're missing a few lights and I have to get the shock boots on. So one thing to keep in mind is if you're doing a lift kit, especially in the Northeast, most of the shocks don't come with the shock boots, so you're going to want to order those separately. And this way it'll keep the shock from having rust issues. So that's pretty much the underside of the truck. We're going to go into the back here and show you what's up back there. Alright guys, so now that we're at the back of the truck, we have a lot going on back here. So we'll start down on the bottom here. You're going to see another one of these up the front. It's a little different style. But this is the Fab 4's rear premium bumper with steps, and this version does have the holes for your backup sensors if your truck is built for it, or comes with it stock. This one in particular did not, so we're actually going to put some LED lights in there, whether they're reverse lights or brake lights, not sure yet, but we're going to fill those holes up with some lighting. Right here, from Soft Topper. So this truck originally, we had just a hard cap on it, and the hard cap was good, but it was a pain sometimes. So Soft Topper, this is a canvas top. It's basically a skeletonized frame inside, and it allows the top to be up or down, kind of like a Jeep top. So serves the purpose if we had to get something really big in there that height clearance wise, you know, the topper was in the way. So that's a godsend. with this, because you can roll up the back window, you can actually take off the front window, and you can roll these sides up. So if we had something in there, or the dogs were traveling, doing some bird hunting, and we're just going field to field, we can put the dogs in the back and they have plenty of air. So right next to this soft topper, we have our Toccoa Guide Gear fly rod box, and this thing is just so bad. So it's a 4-rod rod box. It's lockable, and we actually just got this installed yesterday because we were trying to figure out what we were going to do. Originally, it's meant to go on a rooftop, so if you have an SUV with roof rails, if you have a truck with roof rails, if you have a cap with roof rails, any of that will work. Because the next portion we're going to talk about is what we worked together with Hinckley Overlanding on, is the bed rack and the 3-person hutch tent that's up on top, which we'll get to in a minute. But because this rack was here, and I didn't want to put the box on top of the tent, because then obviously I'd have to be climbing up on top of the truck every time we wanted to get a fly rod out. I got together with our buddy Chris yesterday. We weren't sure if it was going to fit, if we needed to extend it because of the topper, but it ended up working just right. So we now have our lockable rod box on the truck at all times. There's 4 fly rods in there, 2 of mine, 2 of Keith's. So it's ready to go whenever we need it. And what's nice is they're not currently strung, but you can leave them strung and just break them down in half and put them back in there. Downfall is, if you're a Euro nymphing guy and you want to put your longer rods in there, it will only accept up to a 10-foot rod in half. Unfortunately, both of our Euro nymphing rods are over 11 feet, so they don't fit. So right now we've got the JP Ross, the Yampa, the Jackson Hole Fly Company, and the Moonlit rod in there. So our basic dry fly and standard fly rigs. So we'll close this up and get it out of the way. And right after this, we'll talk about that tent and what's on the front of the truck.
Attention weekend warriors, get your off-road vehicles ready for action at the annual Off-Road Only Expo on May 22nd, presented by Hinckley Overlanding. Come show off how you get ready for a weekend of adventure, because it's free to bring your own overlanding rig, rock crawler, UTV, Jeep, or Sprinter van at the Off-Road Only Expo, Saturday, May 22nd from 9 to 5 at the Equestrian Event Center in South Jordan. It's free for the whole family. For more info, go to hinkley-overlanding.com.
All right, guys, so obviously I'm standing on our bumper right now. I did unfortunately forget the ladder for this bad boy, but this was a custom done tent and rack system that was done for us by Hinckley Overlanding out in Salt Lake City, Utah. And you want to get into overlanding, you want to get into some off-road stuff, you do not want to forget about calling or visiting these guys. These guys are phenomenal. So this is a Hutch Zodiac 3-person tent that they custom did to fit this bed rack, to fit the length of the truck, because it is an 8-foot bed. And what's really cool, unfortunately you'll see more of this, and if you saw any of our Facebook posts, this is custom wrapped. So that's why all of their advertising, all of their logos are on the outside. But as you've heard us talk about before, our new show, Trout Trails, they're the actual title sponsor of that show. So the very top of this is wrapped with the Trout Trails logo. So when it's open, you can see it. And we're going to do a complete walkthrough on the YouTube page here in a couple days. But you have the ability to sleep 3 people in here very, very comfortably. It's well up above the topper, so I don't have to worry about it hitting anything. The big thing while I'm standing here is, if you do have a topper, and depending on the state you live in, it's hard to see, but right here we have a 3rd brake light that we had to install. And the reason we had to do that in the state of Pennsylvania is, if the truck cab has a 3rd brake light and you put something that you can no longer see that brake light, you must have one that's visible. So we just went and got a small trailer LED red light, and we wired it into the brake lights in the back of the truck. So we're 100% legal. But this does come with a collapsible ladder, and the mattress does have an awning with 2 pretty big, decent sized windows in it when it's open. And like I said, you'll see more on the YouTube when we do the full walk through the tent. But last but not least, let's get up to the front. All right, guys, so here we are up in the front of the truck, and as you can see, we've got some material up here. This is another Fab Four. This is the premium front bumper. What's really cool about this bumper is, one, it is winch capable. Two, it does come with fog lights and running lights and turn signals built into it. So it comes as a full package. Now you can get it without the bull bar. I got the bull bar for the fact of this is, you know, a pretty big truck, and I don't want this grill to get broken if it doesn't have to get broken. If God forbid a deer ran out in front of me or I got hit, this protects that grill a little bit, as well as the under chassis. So this actually steeps down pretty low. And the reason we put these big bumpers on it is, obviously, one, we're on the road a lot, so we want to protect the truck as much as possible. We obviously are around wildlife anywhere in the Northeast, or just about anywhere. Wildlife running across the road is the last thing you want to run into. So we went with that, and we also have a SpeedTech 20-inch light bar on the front. And again, going back to that 99% complete, we have 2 sets of work lights and another light bar from SpeedTech that we have to install on the truck. It's just been taking everything between pandemics and everything else going on in the world and in life. It's just been taking a little bit longer because we're not sure exactly where we want to mount those yet. But regardless, they will get put on. And the fog lights, we finally just got the pigtail to mount it to the factory switch so that we don't have to cut wires. It's the last thing you want to do on a vehicle, is cut a wire that came from the factory. But that's pretty much it. The only other thing we added, which you can kind of see, is we put some Raptor liner all the way around the truck because of those big 35-inch BFGs. Even though they don't stick out that far, they stick out just far enough that it was throwing some stuff up and chipping the paint. So Raptor liner is a bed coating that we put down the side, so it makes it actually look pretty cool, but it also protects the paint from getting chipped up. So well, guys, I know it's probably not the episode that you guys were expecting. You saw me miss a turkey. You learned a little bit more about the rack rig if you haven't seen our YouTube page. But it's part of the team. It's part of what we do. So we figured we'd share it with you guys. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget to check out next week. Next week we're actually going to get to play with some Franklin Armory rifles and their binary trigger systems. And keep an eye on me, get out and do a little sporting plays. So in the meantime, don't forget to check out our Facebook page and Instagram page. Also, again, like we mentioned last week, Carbon TV now has a shop button. So if you're looking for some Carbon TV swag, head over to the website, click the little green shop button up at the top. T-shirts, hoodies, backpacks, stickers, hats, beanies, all kinds of stuff. Enjoy it. Support Carbon. We thank you for supporting us. We'll talk to you guys next week.